I want to continue looking at John chapter 1, verse 17, in this passage where John is describing this radical shift in importance from the law of Moses to Jesus Christ. He says, "For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ." I describe this as a radical shift in importance because up to this point, all of the emphasis for the people of Israel, the Jews, was on the law of Moses. And a parable that I think describes this really well, it's in 3 of the Gospels. We're going to read Luke's account. Luke chapter 5, verses 36 through 39. He, Jesus, also told them a parable. "No one tears a piece from a new garment and puts it on an old garment. If he does, he will tear the new, and the piece from the new will not match the old. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be destroyed. But new wine must be put into fresh wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, desires new, for he says, 'The old is good.'" So we see here, what I believe this parable is describing is this radical shift in thinking. It's very difficult for somebody like a scribe or a Pharisee seeking to attain their righteousness through means of the law to come to a place where they realize that the law was actually something that was given to imprison them under sin. So rather than to seek to demonstrate their righteousness through the law was actually given to show them, to testify to them of their condemnation before God. So this is why it is difficult for those old containers to receive the new wine, or for that old garment to receive the new patch. It says, new wine must be put into fresh wineskins. One that understands and gets the purpose that the law was trying to accomplish. Like tax collectors and prostitutes, who the law would say was a sinner. They could see that. They could accept that. And therefore, they were ripe to receive the grace and truth that came through Jesus Christ. "No one after drinking old wine desires new, for he says, 'The old is good.'" I believe this is by and large why we see that Christ is rejected by those sorts of people, the scribes and the Pharisees. But in Matthew chapter 5, verse 20, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." What kind of righteousness is that? Well, it has to be the righteousness that is imputed to us through Jesus Christ by grace, because the scribes and the Pharisees were scrupulous about keeping the law, but their righteousness was not acceptable before God. Romans chapter 10, verse 3 through 4 puts a bow on this, really summarizes this well. Speaking of the people of Israel, "For being ignorant of the righteousness of God and seeking to establish their own, they did not submit to God's righteousness. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes."